Welcome into No Punt Intended, presented by Club Fantasy. I am your host, Joe Zollo. Week 11 of the fantasy football season, week 11 of the NFL season. And if you had Tylan Wallace and Marquez Valdez-Scantling somehow stashed on your bench, and you said, let me play them over guys such as Terry McLaurin, DJ Moore, guys you drafted in the 4th, 5th round maybe. Well, congratulations on the win this week, because you're better than all of us. So 1, why are you here? 2, no, you didn't have them in your lineup. We appreciate all you guys for joining in. New time, 9 p.m. Eastern. Let's get into it. Welcome into No Punt Intended, presented by Club Fantasy. I'm your host, Joe Zollo. 2 Jamokes on the bottom. Hello, gentlemen.
Good evening, Joe.
I wanna, as mentioned,
love it.
Yeah, I wanna start today. We're gonna end the enthusiasm right now. We're gonna go back to hating the sport that we all love and play. I'm gonna start this. So for those that don't play on CBS Sports, I recommend it. You do have to pay for it, but I recommend it. They send out on Wednesdays, they send out a weekly email giving the power rankings report for the league this year. Now, I want you to keep in mind, my team is 3-7 in this league, okay? I should be ranked 10th. I'm ranked 6th. I moved up this week after losing because I had the 2nd most fantasy points in the league. You want to know who had the most? The guy I played with, Jamar Chase. Here is the line from CBS Sports on Morning Woodhead, my team. Morning Woodhead took an unlucky loss to Awful, which is just another blow to the team with the most unlucky losses this season. That is said in a quoted CBS Sports email. That explains my entire fucking year. The guy in first place in our league, I have more points scored than him. He's 7-3 in first place. I'm 3-7, tied for last. What are we doing? What is life? Baby. He has 300 less points scored against him. I'm sorry. Why do people have to whip their dicks out when they play me? That doesn't make any sense. I just want one cupcake matchup. Fun fact, I almost beat the guy who had Jamar Chase. I only lost by 16 points. What is a boy to do?
I definitely have a league like that. It's my only auction.
I have
league.
3, Josh. I have 3.
I actually don't have leagues like that this season. I either suck or I don't suck, but it's my drafting is 100% to blame. And I will say, this is the first year I've sucked in a while. I did not make moves quick enough. I'm like, everything's going to turn around in week 5. Everything's going to turn around in week 6. I needed to be more proactive, like I tell you guys on this show, but my ego got in the way, and I was like, "No, I drafted fine. This is a them problem, not a me problem."
I feel like Leonardo DiCaprio before he won his fucking Emmy. Like what an Oscar, whatever he won. What am I to do? What is Leo supposed to do with all the movies he did, everything great he did? Nobody gave him an award. Nobody.
Fight a bear.
What is it? Apparently, yeah. Get mauled by a bear in The Revenant, and then you win the Oscar. Sure. Nothing else he ever did in his career. No, fully. I mean, I guess that's what I have to do. Find a Bruin and just throw hands. That's what I have to do at this point.
And make sure you just film it so we can put it on YouTube. That's all that matters.
It's so unfair. Because, Josh, if it was one league, I'm like, all right, you know what? I get it. Another league, I'm 3-7. First place, 7-3. I have more points for than him. I'm sorry. The best league I'm in, I drafted Christian McCaffrey with the first overall pick. I don't understand. I hate this game. I hate this game. We'd all be so much happier if we just fucking croqueted.
I am undefeated in leagues with Christian McCaffrey so far this season.
I don't.
Undefeated or completely defeated?
No. I mean undefeated. Christian McCaffrey has played 2 games for me, 1 in each league. I've won both of them. I'm 2-0 with Christian McCaffrey. You Can't stop me.
I'm also 1-0 with Christian
There you
McCaffrey
go.
playing in my lineup, but I'm
So this show is
5-5 in that league, which
This
is
show
insane.
is 5-0 with Christian McCaffrey. We know.
I mean,
what
you
we're
too.
doing.
We're wiping the floor with Christian McCaffrey right now.
Right.
All right. Questions to start off. Jeff, rest of the season, Otten or Hawkinson? We'll start there, and then we'll go to the defensive side. Ryan.
Yeah, Jeff actually just asked this with the show with me and Renee about a half an hour ago. I'm going to stick with my answer. I'm interested to hear what you guys say. I think it's TJ Hawkinson. One, Otten's on his bye right now, so if you have to make this decision this week, it has to be Hawkinson. But you have to love the volume you're seeing from Hawkinson. I know Otten has been untouchable, but the fact of the matter is this: Hawkinson is who we want Otten to be. So,
Josh, you're muted, of all things.
It's Hawkinson for me as well. Honestly, what we've been waiting for is to see how Hawkinson fits within this Vikings offense with Sam Darnold at quarterback. 2 games in, he's been just fine. Hasn't missed a beat from his time last year with the team. Otten's been a great story. Basically, what we're waiting for is how Otten fits into this offense with the return of Mike Evans, because we know he's been the focal point, sans Evans and obviously Godwin. Now you add one of those 2 wide receivers in, that's going to bring down some of that target volume. I don't think it's going to decrease that much, but still, I would much rather have Hawkinson.
Sam Darnold turned back into a pumpkin, which I didn't like.
Yeah, that was a little rough.
And Hawkinson still had 16 fantasy points.
Yeah, against the Jaguars. This was the same conversation we had about George Pickens last week. He was, Washington's defense has played well. Yeah, they played the school of the blind, Helen Keller's football team, and they play with their helmets backwards was the 3rd team. So that's who they saw for 3 straight weeks. And then they see a decent NFL football team with good receivers and George Pickens, and Pickens did what he did, and Mike Williams caught a fucking touchdown against the Commanders. So the Commanders didn't see anybody good. The Vikings did not see anybody good the last 2 weeks. They've seen the Colts and the Jaguars. They've seen horseshit football teams. So while I agree that's a good thing, Baker has yet to turn back into a pumpkin. We were waiting. We were all predicting Baker was going to turn back into Baker Mayfield. He hasn't done that yet. He's actually looked pretty good.
Yeah, he is.
And if Nick Bosa actually would sack a white quarterback, maybe we wouldn't be talking about the Buccaneers and Baker Mayfield playing as well and putting up that much. Because I'm sorry, Nick Bosa is 285 pounds and didn't just fall on Baker Mayfield's left arm. The jokes write themselves, people. All right, this isn't Saturday Night Live, but the jokes write themselves. I'll stick Otten for right now. I think with Mike Evans back, it only helps him. I really think it only helps him because they don't have to pay attention to Godwin. Somebody needs to be open over the middle. I think that's him. And while I hope it to be Sterling Shepard or Trey Palmer, have a second option at receiver, I think it's just going to go to Otten. So, Tyler, Downs, Dell, Bateman, Judy.
I'm going to go back to Jeff real quick before we jump ahead.
Oh, sorry.
Part.
The defense. I forgot about that.
I assume that's this week and not rest of season because you don't play defenses rest of season. But either way, it's actually the Steelers for me. I don't trust the Dolphins.
I don't trust the Dolphins at all.
Even against against Baltimore.
Make it a trifecta.
Yeah, even against it was if it's rest of season, it's still the Steelers.
Yeah, exactly. But even this week, I understand the Raiders look like a good matchup. The Dolphins are a bad defense, plain and simple.
Dolphins are a horrible defense. Yeah, don't let what they did last week fool you. They only had 4 sacks. It felt like their defense was playing a lot better against the Rams. They only had 4 sacks. They're not that good. Tyler, Downsdale, Bateman, Judy, Ryan.
Starting 1. I would
assume 1.
I think he hit us with this question in the last one. I think we're starting 2. Maybe it's 1 though. I don't remember Judy being a part of the question. Sorry, I'm getting repeat questions from last. I think I would go Judy or Downs. I really like that matchup for Judy. I think I would gamble on Judy just because I don't trust Richardson, but I would still trust Richardson over Tank Dell sliding back and Rashad Bateman sliding back. So I'll go Judy, then Downs.
Josh.
You guys are really going to make me say Jerry Judy.
I know I said Downs on the last episode, but I don't think Judy was part of the question last.
Can my option be pick up Elijah Moore off waivers and play him?
Judy's actually the last couple of weeks out-targeted Elijah Moore.
Yeah, I would play Judy.
Tank Dell, I want to say Tank Dell, but he just hasn't done anything.
No, you want to know why? John Mechie.
Fucking Mechie, baby.
I was going to say, you got Nico Collins coming back and John Mechie stepping up. I don't love this for Dell. I don't think.
Yeah, I really don't either.
Yeah.
John Mechie's a dog.
I like Bateman, but the volume just isn't there. Yeah. I think the two volume options here are Judy and Downs, and I think you kind of have to take the better option at quarterback. So I'm going to begrudgingly say Jerry Judy and then go wash my mouth out with soap.
Jameis Winston revenge game against the New Orleans Saints.
That's right, baby.
They chose Derek Carr over him.
That's right.
How's that working out for him?
They won.
Michael Thomas.
How do the Bears not look at what the Saints just did in firing Dennis Allen and say, maybe if we got rid of our shit-ass head coach, we would be a better football team? How do they not see that? Matt Eberflus has not gotten that Hail Mary should have been dang, that was tough for us for 1 week. That has trickled into what feels like 3 weeks of football.
It may have destroyed the franchise.
The franchise was never built to begin with. It's the Chicago Bears. They haven't been a thing since 1985.
Yeah.
This isn't and listen, I'm happy because I think Caleb Williams was wildly overrated.
I was gonna say I'm the only one on this show who liked Caleb Williams. I watched the least amount of college football, but we are all pretty on equal footing of not watching college football.
I like Caleb Williams. He was fun to watch. I mean, you can see the potential, but again, he's got to be able to learn to play within a game script. He plays on his own time. He can't do that. That's what I'm saying.
NFL.
That's fair.
You have to.
You can do that in the Pac-12.
Well, you can do it in the Pac-12, but you can also do it once you figure out how to read defenses.
Sure.
Patrick Mahomes plays a lot off script. We've seen Brett Favre over the years play a lot off script. Aaron Rodgers has played a lot off script. Those are all-time greats right now. Caleb Williams isn't that.
Yeah. I'll even give Lamar off script this year. He's been a lot better with that too. So, hey, fucking Jameis Winston plays off script as well. There is no script for that man. And he threw for 5,000 yards. Don't ask me what else he threw for that year, but he threw for 5,000 yards.
So I promise you I was trying to work in my head how we got to Caleb Williams. I'm glad you brought Jameis back up because I'm like, why are we talking about Caleb Williams? But it
Tyler,
was Jameis
I think around the clock here, it's Jerry Judy.
Yeah, it's Judy.
Reluctantly, you will never hear that show say that again. Joe, Dobbins, Monty, Najee. Start one. Ryan.
Great matchup for Monty. I'm playing Monty this week.
Josh.
Yeah, the Lions running backs are going to feast this week. It's Monty for me.
I mean, if you drop J.K. Dobbins out of... I mean, I get he's playing Cincy, but I don't care about that. The Najee versus Monty debate is interesting because the Ravens are horrible, too, on defense.
They're a worse pass defense than run defense.
Oh, they're a much worse pass defense than they are run defense. Agree with that. That being said, still David Montgomery. But if you can find a way to get Najee Harris in your lineup still... I would look to do that. He has a very good matchup this week. Mini Money Mega. Best running back waiver pickup this week. I was looking on my waivers. I didn't see.
Who did we talk about this week, Ryan, on Tuesday's show?
Chestnut available? There was not much.
Nah, it was
Audric Estime was the big
Audric Estime is the big one.
Trey Benson.
I still don't love it. He's just not efficient.
Say Trey Benson's not the right pickup right now because of next week. Because he's a bye right now. But if Trey Benson's sitting out there and you're looking for rest of season, not necessarily week 11, I like Trey Benson a lot. I think he's going to end up seeing more carries. But Estime is the big one. I agree, Joe. Inefficiency is an issue, but we're talking waivers in November for a guy who is
could see time. I agree.
Presumed to be the starter rest of season.
Mm-hmm.
There's the other issue is, are we sure they're just going to go away from Javonte Williams, who was a decent running back for games this season? Are we sure they're just going to go away from Jaleel McLaughlin? I don't know if this – Josh pointed out that Estime didn't even see his first carry till the third drive. This was not planned. This was a fuck it, we ball sort of move, and I just don't know if they're going to go to Estime.
Josh, go ahead.
I mean, they could. I mean, he proved a lot more efficient. Javonte Williams hasn't had a good game in a month.
Very, very true.
So
he's not part of the team's future. It's pretty clear on that. So why not see what they have with the young
Just
kid?
adding in here, he has CMC and Kyren in a one running back league, so he just needs depth, essentially.
I mean, grab Estime, but don't worry about it. Honestly.
Well, you said Estime or Benson. They're both there. I would go Benson.
Benson. My apologies, Benson. I'm going to assume Jordan Mason not out there because I'd be Blake Corum not out there. If it's a one running back league, I'm just handcuffing. I'm not worried about depth. I'll just cuff.
True.
So here's the issue, and I'm going back very quickly looking at previously coached Sean Payton football teams, and I'm talking not Mark Ingram, Alvin Kamara, because that was a legit 1-2 punch of running backs. I'm going back to Pierre Thomas, Mike Bell, Reggie Bush, Deuce McAllister.
Fucking Deuce McAllister.
Deuce
I was gonna say, was Sean Payton there with Deuce McAllister?
Deuce McFucking dog. You bet your ass he was.
I
Deuce
love
McAllister.
Deuce
Deuce McAllister had a
dude.
1,000-yard season in 2006 under Sean Payton. So here's the thing. That's what I'm looking at is the last time Deuce
Used to be a
McAllister
proper country.
had that. And I believe Reggie Bush was a rookie that year. He had 565 rushing yards. So while Bush did have that, you want to know how many targets Reggie Bush had that year? 121. He led the team in targets. Just fun fact there. But every year after that, 07 to 09, just the years I've looked at here, it's a very even split in that backfield. So Reggie Bush, 581. Aaron Stecker could have paid me $1 million to name that guy. Would have never gotten him. He had 448 yards. Then you go into 2008. You're looking at, again, Reggie Bush, but then Pierre Thomas and Deuce McAllister. They're all within 200 yards of each other. So Sean Payton is known to just mix in his running backs willy-nilly.
He actually Moneymaker answered his own question. I'm going to pop his second part up here real quick. It's Bucky. That's get Bucky Irving right now. That's your guy.
It's Bucky,
Most
then
efficient.
Bigsby. Those would be the ones I would get.
Yeah.
Bucky. I agree with that, Bucky and Bigsby. So, yeah, just a caveat for those. I did grab Estime in one league because I'm like, I have Xavier. I had Xavier Hutchinson. I'm like, this guy's useless. So grabbed him in one league.
To be fair, I actually grabbed him a week ago, so I'm out ahead of waivers in another league. So.
Oh boy. I don't love the pickup because I do know Sean Payton's history, and I just think it's going to be just a recycle.
I'm not starting him. I have actually Kyren and I am starting him. I forgot this was an auto draft team that I took over. My backs were Kyren and Javonte Williams, so I am starting Estime this week. So.
To me, I need to start Estime confidently. I need McLaurin or Williams to have an injury and just to be a two-headed backfield.
I have this weird prediction that Javonte is going to go to a pass catching role, so I think McLaurin's going to be the odd man out. So
that's fair.
That's interesting.
Arturo, what should I do with his wide receiver room? He's got Justin Jefferson, Malik Neighbors, Garrett Wilson, George Pickens, and D-Hop, trying to get A.J. Brown, Nico, or Jamar. Listen, you're going to have to trade your next of kin's first name for Jamar Chase at this point.
Yeah,
I wouldn't look.
Is this Dynasty? Because in redraft,
I wouldn't touch it in redraft. The only thing I would do in redraft is weirdly to say. Is Malik Neighbors the fifth option here out of all these?
I was going to say that would be the guy that I would try to trade the name value because Malik Neighbors has done nothing over the last
everybody is super excited about what Drew Lock is going to mean for him, and he's still Drew fucking Lock. So.
You mean big cock?
These
Lock.
guys, that would be the one that I would package. Go get Neighbor or trade Neighbors and a running back package Neighbors and D-Hop, whatever it may be.
I was going to say Neighbors and Hop.
Go get Brown. That's who I would get.
Neighbors.
You're not going to get Jamar Chase.
Listen, hold on. Just throw it out for Jamar Chase. Just be like, hey, dummy, you want to take this? And if the dummy says yes, good job.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. You start with Neighbors and Hop for honestly all three. I honestly think Pickens and Hop might get you Nico. Like I don't know that against that. So
I could.
I know like this is an ESPN.
Would you rather have Pickens or Neighbors over Pickens though right now?
No,
like straight up, honestly.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I mean, I'm the biggest Pickens hater on this stream, and I would rather have Pickens over Malik Neighbors right now.
The Steelers had their bye. I couldn't remember this one my last show either. Okay.
Yes.
No.
They had week 9, I believe.
Yeah, they did with the Niners.
Oh, that's right. They just came out of the bye. That's right. I forgot about that. Yeah, no, then I'd rather have Pickens because I can play him this week, which should be a good week to have.
So I know this is some ESPN bullshit stat, but Jamar Chase is the only receiver in NFL history to have multiple 260-plus yard receiving games with 2+ touchdowns. I know that's some bullshit fucking ESPN stat they pulled out of their ass.
I don't know. That feels like an actual worthwhile stat.
260? We're getting that fucking specific? Like if it was over 200
but that's the thing.
yards.
If he's the only one that's ever done it, like...
Yeah, I bet it works its way down to 250 and everything. I think.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, so there's a guy that's done it at 250 and 2 touchdowns multiple times. I was like, that bullshit. That's stupid ESPN bullshit.
Now I at least
Thaddeus
understand
Young
what
and
you're
LeBron James were on the same graphic. Why? That made no sense. He was on a graphic with Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, and LeBron James. Thaddeus Young isn't in the league anymore.
Sounds like my Mount Rushmore.
Like, I don't understand. It's so stupid. It's an ESPN stuff.
I actually don't know who Thaddeus Young is.
Exactly. It's almost as good as the Texas graphic of them tweeting out highest GPA in team history, and it was 2.5. What?
Wonderful.
Why are you tweeting that out? What are you doing?
I was gonna say that's more embarrassing than
that. Sounds like a shame tweet.
There's a Mount Rushmore of sports graphics out there. That one's up there, and Sam Darnold out with mononucleosis is also up there as a top tier graphic. Joe Ortiz, different team. Monty, Eckler, James Cook. I don't think the answer changes here. I think all of us will say David Montgomery here.
Yeah, I honestly think Eckler and Cook could also have bad weeks. Monty is, of every running back you've mentioned so far on the show, Joe, Monty's the only one with a good matchup.
Pretty much. Yeah, I'm not confident in starting James Cook this week. I still like it, but I'm not. I think Kansas City's defense has cooled off. I
almost made him my no touchdown special, but I backed off a little bit, so I'll give you that too.
I think Kansas City's defense has cooled off a lot. They've shown up in spots, but they have cooled off a lot in the last couple weeks. Magic, 7-3 as the third seed.
Congrats.
Start 8. Team is Jaden Daniels, Kamara, CMC, Josh Jacobs. Oh God, there's a million Jones. What am I? I'm like Julio Jones. That's not right.
I've been doing that lately too, pulling really old names. I imagine that's
Aaron Jones, Cooper Kupp, Mike Evans, Devonta Smith, D-Hop, Downs, Tillman, Hawkinson. Which guys should I package to upgrade? You need a receiver, and I would look to trade Aaron Jones or Josh Jacobs.
Well, I would also, if there's a needy team, package Hop and Downs for a receiver upgrade.
That's fine. I'll do that too.
Come here.
I don't know that you can really trade Aaron Jones right now because he's dealing with an injury, but that would be the guy that I would try to trade.
I'm going to be honest. I missed the Aaron Jones injury, and there's a chance other people have too. So you might be able to slide one in there.
Yeah, I mean, if you could do Jones and honestly, I'd be okay trying to get out from under Devonta Smith. Like, I mean, look, I'm an Eagles fan and I love Devonta Smith, but as long as AJ Brown is healthy and seeing a 30% target share, Devonta Smith ain't doing shit. They're just not throwing the football, which
he's
we're
not
get
wrong.
More into that.
Yeah,
later,
your three middle wide receivers, Smith, Hop, and Downs. Hop is kind of 50-50 on whether he's going to work his way down or not, but Smith, Hop, and Downs are all kind of on a downswing.
Yeah.
But the thing is, there's perceived upswings for all of them, so this is the perfect time to trade them, actually.
Yeah.
And you got a dog in Cedric Tillman.
Cedric Tillman, wide receiver 1, baby.
Yeah.
As long as Jameis Winston is his quarterback.
Yep.
If Jameis Winston wasn't Jerry Jeudy's quarterback, we all would have been screaming Josh Downs' name.
I will say, there are still DTR rumblings, and that does make me very nervous.
Oh, that worries me as well.
Tillman,
but DTR still has a better ball than Deshaun Watson.
That's fair. Yeah.
So that makes me feel better. Steven with the asshole question of the week, Javonte Williams or Audric Estime? I don't know, Steven, you tell us. You read Sean Payton's mind. Everyone's been trying to do it for 20 years.
I'm in this spot, and I'm going Estime. So
there you go. Josh, care to weigh in?
Oh, man. Oh, shit. I'm such a Javonte fan, but you know what? Here's the thing. I know if I say Estime, it's going to be Javonte. If I say Javonte, it's going to be Estime. So you know what? I'm just going to say Javonte and roll with it and just see what happens.
Yeah, I'm with that.
I don't like the question. I'm gonna. I refrain.
Plead the fifth, is that it?
I refrain. Yeah. We have we have amendments for it. I plead the fifth.
There you go. Perfect.
Yeah. Fuck you, Steven.
No,
I plead the fifth.
Here.
Yeah. Drop Rashad White for Isaiah Pacheco for a bench spot.
I would not do that.
Not in PPR. Nope.
No.
I'm holding on that Pacheco does
Again,
not play.
Why are you guys asking me about players that I fucking hate?
I know.
I don't want to roster Rashad White.
I
don't want to roster Jerry Jeudy.
I'm waiting for a Jalen Waddle question to bring up some fun statistics, which is why I put him as a downside in case nobody asks for a Jalen Waddle question. NCAA 25 smiley face, because that's the first good thing EA's made in a while. Trade Saquon Barkley, AJ Brown, and Brock Bowers. Holy wagon. For CMC, speak of the fucking devil, Jalen Waddle, Nico Collins, and Mark Andrews. No.
No, I'm not doing that. You're
No.
getting exponentially worse.
So here's the thing.
I mean, if you take Waddle out of this, I can't say you're getting exponentially worse.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, you are.
Yes, you are. Brock Bowers is the top 2 tight end in the NFL. AJ Brown right now, I would personally rather have over Nico Collins.
Okay.
And Saquon is still
at this
better
point.
than CMC.
At this point, CMC and Saquon Barkley are 1A, 1B.
Okay, so
I
I just wouldn't call it exponentially. I'm still keeping the left side. Is it funny that Waddle makes this trade worse for me? Because I don't want to have to cut somebody.
It's literally subtraction by addition, which is not a good thing.
5 receiving yards on the first drive and ended with 57.
Josh, that's my fucking stat. He had twice as many receiving yards after the first drive as he had drops. Hint, he had 1 drop.
Wow.
If you can't do math, he had 2 receiving yards
Well,
after the first 5 fucking minutes of the game.
And me and Josh talked about this on Tuesday. He was the wide receiver 39. This bounce back week was wide receiver 39. He's a wide receiver 4.
And the leading receiver on his team was wide receiver 39.
Yeah.
Mike McDaniel, shove it.
Yeah.
You and your camera tricks, shove it, Mike McDaniel. Which wide receiver should I pick up? Juwan Jennings, Xavier Legette, Keon
Juwan Jennings.
Yeah,
as quickly as possible.
Juwan Jennings. Yeah. Juwan Jennings. I like Legette, but
I was going to say I like Legette too, but Joe, I'm surprised that you were literally like Juwan Jennings right here, because the way that we were going back and forth between him and Pearsall last week.
It was a would you rather Ricky Pearsall or Juwan Jennings? Who scored more fantasy points?
That's what we were talking about, Ryan, on like Monday.
And I don't
Tuesday.
hate Juwan Jennings.
More fantasy point. Look at the target share though.
Oh yeah, no, I know. Here's the thing. I love Juwan Jennings. I just thought Ricky Pearsall was going to have a better week. I was right.
Did.
And I'm totally fine with Juwan Jennings.
Just because he caught
easy.
the touchdown. That's why I hate touchdowns.
You also hate kickers, so pick. What do you want? Mr. Magic, trade Jones, D-Hop, Smith for Brees and DK.
Sure.
There's no hope for Brees Hall. I'm sorry. There's no hope.
Oh, really? I'd say I'll make this trade.
I would make this trade in a heartbeat.
No hope for Brees Hall. I have Brees Hall. I've started him every week. I've had hope. The hope has been diminished. Every ounce of hope in Brees Hall is gone. All of it. I said RB1 before the season. Oh boy, did I mean RB 100. That guy fucking blows. And what I mean by Brees Hall blows, I mean the rest of his operation sucks, because Brees Hall's the one good thing in that offense. And Garrett Wilson. I forget who asked the question last week. The Devontae Adams question. God, did Josh and I hit that out of the fucking park on Saturday. Don't be scared. The Jets fooled you on Thursday Night Football against the Texans. Don't be scared. Devontae Adams is garbage. Stephen Drakes. Once again, Stephen, thank you for always popping in and doing this for us. We appreciate the super chat. How do you feel about the Chargers and Broncos defense?
Well, since he got super chat, I'm even going to answer the rest of season part of this. So this week, I do have the Broncos slightly ahead. Atlanta, we've seen Kirk Cousins getting hit way more than I'm comfortable with. As long as the Broncos can somewhat slow Bijan Robinson down, we know they should be able to slow one of those wide receivers down. I think the Broncos are going to be enough to do enough in this game to be a good defense, because it's a home game. I'm thankful it's a home game. I don't hate the Chargers, but I just don't want to bet against Cincinnati right now. Like, They're just throwing the ball everywhere. I still have the Chargers as top 10 defense. That just tells you how bad the defensive scene is this week right now. But I do like Denver. And then I just looked at Denver's rest of fucking season schedule. Week 13 or 12, the Raiders, 13, the Browns. They do have that 14 bye. They come out of that bye against Anthony Richardson and the Colts, the Chargers, and then the Bengals. So for the playoffs, Denver is not going to help you much. Getting you to the playoffs, Denver is wonderful. So you need to hold on to Denver now.
Schedule?
Chargers playoff schedule is Tampa Bay in 15, Denver in 16, and New England in 17.
Hey,
I mean, it's kind of
That
even
New
all
England
around,
game's
though, if you
scary.
really stop and think about it.
Yeah, it's just dealing with that bye. But here's the thing: the Chargers have Kansas City on that bye, so you're probably not going to want to play them anyway. So it's Denver rest of season, and it's Denver this week for me. We appreciate the super chat. You're the only person who I answered defense rest of season questions for, because there is no rest of season defense, Steven.
In this case, it is the Broncos, and I will answer the second part of the question for everybody. Yes,
How dare
Deontay
you.
Johnson is useless.
Oh, I didn't even
right
see
now.
the second part of the question. Oh,
Deontay
trash.
I dropped him this week. Useless.
Even
And
Josh said it. Josh said it on
Josh will
Tuesday.
admit.
Yeah.
Josh hates it. He'll admit it. He is useless in that Ravens offense.
Yeah,
useless.
He's essentially a decoy. That's all he is right now. They're not even using him. He ran all of 3 routes. Now, granted, he was targeted on 2 of those 3, which great percentage, but
utilization maybe.
he's got to be used more often than that to make any kind of headway. But they're just not running a ton of 11 personnel, truthfully. So,
and I will bring this up about the Chargers defense, because we were asked a Calvin Ridley question last week, and the Titans.
oh my
and all
god,
that
that fucking burned us.
So, and that's what I wanted to bring up is there were better options I think we had on the table at the time than we said Calvin Ridley, but the caveat that I mentioned with Ridley, because I believe one of them had an injury designation. I said I would pivot to Ridley if one of these guys is out. Ridley was the wide receiver 3 on the week, 0.5 points behind Marquez Valdez-Scantling. I said this going into the week. The Chargers have not played good receivers. They have played jokes of quarterbacks, and they have not played good receivers. Yeah. And if Will Levis is getting Calvin Ridley wide receiver 3 numbers, there's good quarterbacks that are going to be able to do that a lot against this Chargers secondary. The strength of the Chargers lies in their running game. Tony Pollard did not have a good week. But plain and simple, he didn't have a good week, and we knew that. Tajay Spears didn't have a good week. So don't be scared when you see, Los Angeles Chargers, then it says like 6th in red numbers next to your ESPN, stardom. They're right there. You see the red, and that scares you. The Chargers defense and the Chargers secondary, not that good. Get that. I want you to think about that going into playoffs, that the Chargers secondary is not that good.
Yeah.
So just
still
know that.
Decent fantasy defense, just not to be
a
worried
great
about
fantasy
wide
defense
receivers.
because they don't allow a lot of yards.
Yep.
And they tend to buckle down in the red zone, but they're going to have their. I'm not like, it would not shock me that Jamar Chase puts up another 202 touchdowns this week. It would not. Like it'd feel like clockwork for him to do it in back-to-back weeks against Harbaugh's. Oh God, it would be so great. It'd be fantastic. Magic, what kind of RB2 can I get for Dobbins and Myers?
I mean,
like
Dobbins
RB2 on an NFL roster, or RB2 and
yeah, I'm just like, Dobbins is that RB2, so who are we? I don't know where the upgrade is here.
Ramondre Stevenson?
I have
not an
Ramondre
upgrade, though.
so far behind Dobbins.
I don't think it is either.
Your upgrade, if you're looking at rest of season, for me, you'd be looking at Chase Brown. You'd be looking at Monty.
Those were the 2 names. Jonathan Taylor seems like a buy right now.
Look, if you could get a Kenneth Walker, who's currently RB17 but has a much higher points per game.
Yeah, don't go into this thinking you need an RB2. For this trade, swing for the fences. This is still Dobbins' team. It's going to be a rough week for him. This is still his team. So don't go into this thinking you need to settle. Buy up. Try to find somebody who you don't think you can get and see what happens.
Try to get a James Cook. Try to get a Devon Achane. Try to get a Kyren Williams, or hell, even
you're not getting Williams, but
if you can get a Devon Achane, he's literally the whole offense. So
Achane and Williams probably not, but I do like James Cook. That's another one that has been kind of quiet lately. He seems to be coming back from that turf toe pretty well. That's an interesting one as well.
And then same thing. Gibbs easily top 5 rest of the season.
Yeah,
very easily.
He has top 5 upside, the most. I would say a lot of guys. And Steven holding on to Mason.
I mean, it's fine to hold on to him. He only had 1 carry this week, so which you don't love. But again,
but if CMC goes down or needs more rest, we
know exactly what Jordan Mason is.
Yep. So you if you have the roster spot, if somebody. Again, we know waivers are thin at this point, but if there's some dummy, or for some reason
Don't leave Cedric Tillman out there.
I was about to say, if Cedric Tillman's still on your waivers, drop Jordan Mason, go get Cedric Tillman.
Yeah.
There's not
Well,
many guys you
more
should
importantly, hang on or trade Mason to the CMC manager. That's really what you should be doing.
Yeah, you could do that too. Kai, have Monty, Gibbs, Walker, Hunt. Pacheco's on IR. Should I drop Bucky for Jennings? If so, who should I start with A.J. Brown this week? C.D. Lamb, Juwan Jennings, T. Higgins, Cedric Tillman.
Tillman.
I would say I'm holding on to Bucky and playing Tillman, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I like Jennings.
I like Jennings a lot too.
And
what about drop? To me, I would drop Hunt for Jennings.
No. I don't believe Pacheco's playing this year. I don't believe he's coming back in the fantasy season. I would drop. You're right though. I don't like dropping running backs. You need the wide receiver more than you need the running back. Plain and simple. Drop Bucky. You don't need a running back help right now.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I would lean there. I would value running backs more.
Still start Tillman.
Yeah, so I'm starting Tillman regardless.
Yes. Yeah, I'm still starting Tillman as well.
Yeah, you can't bank on C.D. Lamb at all.
Nope. Joe, Ridley, J-Mo, Devonta, Shakir, or Quentin Johnston start 3. Ryan.
Kind of hard to bench QJ after what the Bengals did last week. I'll bench J-Mo and Shakir.
Josh.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was leaning. Chiefs D has been interesting, to say the least. But with Shakir, like a lot of his targets are really just coming from Keon Coleman being out, Cooper being out last week, Kincaid now getting hurt. So, I mean, to me, I'm keeping an eye on the reports there. The problem is that if you want to start Devonta Smith, you kind of need to make that decision. So
yeah, that's how I'm not going to fuck around. I'm going to start him on Thursday.
I'll go Devonta, Ridley, and Jameson Williams against Jacksonville. They're so fucking bad. That defense.
They are, but that's going to be a running game, man.
And Laporta might miss.
They're just so bad. Detroit has no problem running up the score.
Oh, that's what I'm saying.
He's good. He's good for a touchdown. Like he's good for a touchdown. And that third receiver might burn you with Quentin Johnston, maybe, catching 3 passes.
QJ might be good for 2. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, he might have 3 catches for 2 touchdowns, but I would go Jameson Williams. I would go the first 3.
I feel like you already have the spike guy in this in QJ. So I wouldn't want to bank on 2 upside like boom.
Well, that's why I'm starting Ridley and Devonta Smith.
That's fair.
So I'm picking my spike guy
category too.
Yeah, I'm picking my spike guy, and I'm going with JMO. They both have great matchups.
Yeah, they do.
I'll pick Jameson Williams in this matchup. Snorifies. Bench 1, Aaron Jones, Chase Brown, Terry McLaurin, George Pickens. This may answer itself, right?
I say, even if it doesn't, well, I don't know. I was going to say, no, it doesn't. If Jones is healthy, I'll play Jones over Brown. I think Brown's is a terrible play this week, but I don't think Jones is going to be healthy enough anyway, so I'm benching Jones. I don't fuck around with questionable guys. So,
especially Aaron Jones questionable. That's burned plenty of people in the past. So yeah, sit Aaron Jones.
Agreed.
Yep. Nino, would you guys send Chase Brown and Evan Ingram for James Conner and Cade Otton, most likely just for the playoff schedule? I think James Conner gets less and less work.
I was just going to say, you're getting a mild upgrade at tight end for what could be a pretty decent downgrade at running back as it moves forward. So.
But how good has Evan Ingram been in the fantasy playoffs in the second half of the season?
Fantastic.
Last 2 years. He's been
caught on fire. Yeah, I'll take Brown and Ingram.
Jacksonville has their bye. Lawrence will be fully healthy in week 13.
That's what they're saying, yeah.
I'm sticking Brown and Ingram. Yep. I don't want to move. Josh?
I mean, I'm fine with the trade, but I would rather have Brown, truthfully. So
I would much rather have Brown.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. All right, how are we feeling about Josh Allen this week? Joe's asking. He's got Goff and Darnold on the bench. Darnold can rot on your bench for eternity, and you can drop him.
So can 5 interception Goff. I'm playing Josh Allen regardless.
That too. I am playing Jared Goff in one league
because you don't have Josh Allen.
Yeah. Yep. Correct. I don't have Josh Allen. That's the reason. Yes, but you're playing Josh Allen.
Yeah.
He plays well against Kansas City.
I'm like, I don't care about records. I don't care about rosters. Josh Allen is going to have himself a day.
There's literally no reason to bench Josh Allen. Ever.
No.
Ever.
I don't care what the matchup is.
Josh, coming to you for the kicker question. Drop Brandon Aubrey for Jake Bates.
I fucking hate you, Joe. I mean,
who does Jake Bates
if this offense, if the Dallas offense scores any points, it's gonna be Brandon Aubrey. I don't know why you would drop him.
All we saw last week.
Who does Jake Bates play
He
for?
kicked both field goals.
Who does Jake Bates play for?
The Lions.
All right.
Attaboy. Would you have known that prior to him kicking the game winner?
Probably not.
Okay, yeah, that checks out. No, you're not dropping Brandon Aubrey.
I would say for this week, I do have Bates as my number one kicker, but I'm still going to keep Brandon Aubrey.
That's because he's kicking 9 extra points this week.
Yeah.
Also true.
Yeah, you're Brandon Aubrey, bar none, has the best leg in the NFL right now. I really don't think there's a competition there. He has the biggest leg and he has the most accurate leg.
And that's what's nice about this Dallas offense stalling is if they stall on the correct side of the 50, Brandon Aubrey has a
Brandon
chance
Aubrey
to
can
score
kick
you
it
5 points. So
easily. Yeah, easily. Will Higgins or Flowers? Are we ever starting T. Higgins at this point?
Nope. Especially not over Flowers.
Yeah, Zay Flowers this week. In Chubb or Swift?
I like both. Swift feels safer. I'd probably go Swift.
Does Swift feel safer?
I say I'm big on Nick Chubb this week.
Okay.
I was gonna say if there's a week that we finally see like the Nick Chubb of old, especially coming off the bye week from the Browns, I think it's this week. If you're feeling dangerous, go Chubb. But I do agree with you, Ryan.
If you're feeling dangerous, go Swift. That offense has looked horrible.
And Swift has been fine throughout it.
Thomas Brown, the new offensive coordinator, he's more of a running, established
Swift has been
coordinator,
as safe as you can get over the last few weeks.
I'm saying, yeah.
Guys, I played Swift last week. He wasn't that great. So
what do you get? Eight PPR points?
Okay. Shane Waldron calling plays, Thomas Brown calling plays.
Hey,
One actually knows how to run.
Shane Waldron is a good guy, maybe.
Everything I've heard is to the contrary.
Hey, Coach, I think we should make an adjustment. Yeah, I'll wait till halftime. Shane!
Did you guys hear that supposedly veteran players, Joe's frozen? Yep, we lost Joe.
I hate it here.
Oh, just your camera so far.
Yeah.
Oh, there.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Did you guys hear? Yes, we can hear you. Can you hear us?
I can hear you, and I thought my computer was done crashing. So you guys take over. I'm going to reload my computer because I hate it here. Thanks.
Yeah,
Let's blow through some questions or we're never going to get a fucking show done. But did you guys hear that they were asking about, apparently veterans came in to ask about Tyson Bagent starting, which is
what?
Yeah, just a rumor I picked up in my chats today.
Wow.
Josh, we got 2 wide receivers, Amari Cooper, BTJ, Waddle, and Judy. The answer is never.
Oh,
Jalen
this
Waddle.
is so gross. This is absolutely. I mean, is Amari Cooper even playing?
If Amari plays, it's Amari and Judy. Otherwise, it's BTJ and Judy. It's Judy for sure out of this question.
Yeah, it's never Waddle at this point. I would agree with that.
Yep.
Dude, all these kicker questions coming in, I've never hated our audience more. I'm sorry, people.
We trade in London straight up for Debo.
No.
Goodness, no.
I want London.
Tank Dell straight up for Devonta Smith. Yes, I want Smith.
That I would trade. That I would do.
Yep.
Both have been frustrating, but it's Devonta.
All right, so Chivalry has like a 4-panel question here, if I saw it correctly. Starters are Mahomes, Josh Jacobs, Najee Harris, Cooper Kupp, Amari Cooper, Mark Andrews, Ramondre Stevenson. Benches, Nick Chubb, DJ Moore, Tucker Kraft, Kyler Murray. Should they trade Josh Jacobs for CeeDee Lamb? So current wide receivers are Kupp and Cooper with DJ Moore on the bench. Jacobs is currently his RB1. No, I'm not making this trade.
Yeah, if Dak was still the quarterback, I would say yes.
Certainly.
But
yeah,
dude, man had a 30% target share last week and had less than 10 fantasy points. Like that is less than ideal. I would not. If you told me you were trading Najee for CeeDee Lamb, I would be okay with that.
Yeah,
but
try
you're
Najee.
giving up more value, in my opinion.
Yeah, if you can do it for Najee, I think I don't have it started right now, and I'm on the starter chat, Josh. I think he said he's like 3-7 and needs the win.
4-6.
Yeah. Jacobs is going to get you closer to the win this week than CeeDee Lamb is, plain and simple. So
yeah, I agree.
No more drip for Joe. I'll save that so Joe can hear
Joe
you.
Joe dripped out of the chat.
Yeah, well, I'll save that one so Joe can hear you compliment him in a bit. Last one for Joe Ortiz. Daniels or Stroud? It's been a rough going for both of them as of late. Dallas should be a good matchup for Stroud, but Josh, I think I'm going to go Daniels and pray for another Thursday shootout.
I was going to say CJ Stroud definitely has the best matchup. That Cowboys defense is a sieve. It's a nosebleed. It is god awful. He should get Nico Collins back, but we saw what happened last week. It was a late game, surprise inactive when everybody was relying on him.
News came out on that. Nico 100% could have played last week. The team made a medical decision to hold him until this week. Nico Collins will play this week.
So how do we know that they're not going to make a medical decision to not play him this week in a game they should easily win against a shitty-ass Cowboys team?
I'm just going based on what I said.
That's the point that I'm getting at, right? Yeah. Like, we can't trust that aspect of it.
That's fair.
This is a game that Joe Mixon can very easily just take over. It has to be Jaden Daniels. Like, I don't love this matchup for Jaden Daniels, but what he brings to the table from his legs on the ground and what he can do to extend plays, you can't sit Jaden Daniels at all.
Yeah, I'm with that. Since we're on kickers, Kyren Fairbairn or Jake Bates rest of season and this week. As I mentioned, Bates is my kicker one. I don't play kickers rest of season, but for me, it's still Jake Bates. I just want a piece of that Detroit offense, Josh.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, Fairbairn's been a solid kicker, if I'm not mistaken, this year.
Yeah, yes. Kicker one, actually.
Okay, there you go. So I didn't think I was crazy in saying that.
Yeah,
I think Bates is a better story than anything, but again, he's kicking on one of the best, if not the best offense in the NFL, which to me lends less to field goals and more just to extra points. But I think this is a game where I don't think the Texans are going to be settling.
Yeah, let's give Josh his due for some expert kicker analysis. Jake Bates, Josh, 14 made field goals this season. Kyren Fairbairn, 24 made field goals this season. So that makes Kyren Fairbairn the better play. So this week it's Bates, rest of season it's Fairbairn. Great job, Josh.
I try.
Josh Carty or Cam Little. Josh, do you know who these guys
are? I'm glad you put first names because I have no freaking clue. I think Carty is the Rams kicker, right? I don't know this little guy. I don't at all. I have no idea.
That's the new Jacksonville kicker. I know we're just fucking around at this point, but they are literally my kicker 25 and 26. The answer is go to waivers.
Option C, go to waivers.
Yeah, do not start either of
these. And I know Joe did that on purpose, but still.
Yeah, do not start either of those gentlemen this week. And before Joe gets back in here so we can get back to the show sheet, he needs 3. We're benching 2 of Tyreek, Kupp, McLaurin, Mooney, D-Hop, and JSN. Does that mean we're benching 3? Yeah, never mind. He didn't say we're benching. He said 3 of 5. It's 3 of 6. Yeah. There are 6 on this
you guys
list,
really
not 5.
Just fucking falling apart without me here. Okay.
Yeah, well, I'm not falling apart. Tron can't count his own damn question. He said 3 of 5 and then gave me 6 fucking names. So
look, with DK back, I'm not wasting time with JSN. I will start with that.
Yep.
Mooney, I'm fine with.
Got to start
D-Hop against the Bills should be okay. We'll get to my downsides later. I don't love McLaurin, but I know that's going to bite me in the ass because he absolutely destroys Philly. Up is a gimme.
If I'm starting the 3, it's the middle 3. It's Kupp, McLaurin, Mooney. I'm sitting Hop, JSN, Tyreek. Yep.
Yeah. I don't think the Dolphins are going to need Tyreek against the Raiders, if I'm being honest. They got Devon Achane to dominate that defense. So
apparently they don't throw to Tyreek Hill anymore. So
well, I mean, he was dealing with the wrist injury midweek. It wasn't surprising to me that, I think his we talked about it on Monday, Ryan. Like one of my props on Underdog was Tyreek Hill less than 72.5. He'd only hit that number twice this year. Both of those were with Tua. Yep. But again, late season wrist injury, or late week wrist injury just kind of lent itself to why should we throw to this guy very often?
Yeah, they didn't do a whole lot with him, though they did call running plays with him, which I really thought was weird. I'm laughing too, Joe.
That was good. I was like, why did Josh star that one? That was funny.
Well, because it came in after I was trying to start.
Yeah.
But regardless, I'm worried with Tyreek this week that the Raiders game gets out of hand, Josh, and it's a similar thing where they're like, why the fuck are we going to use him? So.
Yeah, they don't need to. So, yeah, that's kind of where I would go, the middle 3.
Am I misremembering? Kyle Hamilton like died on the field. Am I
He did get
misremembering
hurt a
this?
couple games ago, I thought.
Yeah, like his knee
I don't know
just
if it was,
said
like,
bye.
that bad,
I'm not going to use the word locked up for any wide receiver one against Baltimore after what Jamar Chase
but
just
Kyle
did to
Hamilton
them.
also
So
plays safety, not
Yeah, he's not
corner,
he's
you
not
know.
going to see Pickens one-on-one. It's going to be
the
Marlon
Bengals
Hunt.
ain't locking shit up, plain and simple.
The Ravens aren't. Neither are the
Ravens,
Bengals,
rather.
but
Yeah,
the Ravens
Bengals
are.
are not. Yeah, yes. Let's be clear. The AFC North ain't locking shit up. So.
Actually, yeah, every defense. None of them. Even Terry
Yeah.
McLaurin went for 100, so yes.
Yeah.
Frenzy, 10-man, trade Kupp and Connor for Saquon. Yeah.
I'm okay doing that.
Absolutely.
You have Jamar Chase.
Yeah,
Yep.
that is your wide receiver 1, 2, and 3.
I was like, I don't
Yep.
need to know your other receivers. It's cool that you have ARSB and Terry McLaurin. Like, congratulations on your fantasy championship. But I didn't need to know anybody past Jamar Chase. I simply didn't at this point. He is almost 100 points ahead of the wide receiver 2.
Jeez.
No, it's actually 50, Joe.
Is it 50? Was it 190? I thought it was 160 was the next closest guy.
Yeah.
Regardless, 50
So
at
Chase
this
is
point in the season.
Chase is 225.2 and Justin Jefferson is 167.3.
I thought it was
almost
252. There we go. I thought it was 252. That's on me. And it says Debo or Pickens rest of the season.
I'll take Pickens.
I was
With
gonna
Russ.
say Pickens, right?
I was gonna say, as long as Russ is the quarterback, it's Pickens for me.
That little deep ball, baby.
They're gonna spread that ball in
Mean
San
ball,
Francisco.
man.
They ain't spreading shit in Steelers.
Yeah.
I think Debo had the lowest amount of targets of anybody in that offense.
And they were like manufactured. They didn't look like they were natural. So
No. All right. Quickly, upsides. Then any more questions? 51 minutes into the show, finally.
By
Upsides.
the way, we do a start sit show every Saturday.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But why?
we knew
even
this
worry
was going to
about-
happen with this 9 o'clock
It
time
happens
slot.
every week. I
Yeah.
love it.
Well, it's
Why
this
even-
night.
yeah.
It's this time slot. We're for the people. So
Yeah. For the people, by the people.
So if you've never seen us at 9 o'clock, now we're going to tell you each the 3 players we really like this week.
Yeah. Yeah. Josh, you have George Pickens, 20 plus, speak of the devil, 20 plus fantasy points against Baltimore. Jameer Gibbs, the overall RB1. I did not realize that when I put my overall RB1 as my upside pick.
Oh, I love
and,
it.
And Anthony Richardson, top 12 against the Jets. You have
The fun part
Pickens
about that,
highlighted.
Joe, we're both probably going to be wrong. So,
Oh, I know I'm going to be wrong, but I'm always wrong in my upsides. They're not like so far off that like you don't start them, but they're never right.
I was going to say 2 of mine I missed last week. I had Justin Herbert at 20 plus fantasy points. He had 19.8. I had Amon St. Brown top 8, and he finished wide receiver 9.
Again,
You don't want to. First of all, I got screwed 2 weeks ago. I forget which one it was. But then last week, Josh had me marked as wrong on Tyrone Tracy, and I'm like, he went for 100 yards and a touchdown. He lost a fucking fumble. You bastard.
Yep.
So what I started the show with, Joe has the most unlucky wins of any team this season. That is words out of CBS Sports mouth. So that's who I am this year. Josh, George Pickens.
Yeah, this one is pretty easy for me. I mean, going against Baltimore, they allow the most fantasy points to wide receivers over the last 4 weeks. They have allowed 6 receiving touchdowns to wide receivers over the last 4 weeks. What you have to love, well, first off, look what Jamar Chase just did against his defense, but also in 3 games with Russ at quarterback, George Pickens is top 20 fantasy points twice. The concerning part, he's never had more than 5 receptions, but he has topped 74 yards in each game with Russ at quarterback. Again, the Ravens suck covering wide receivers. George Pickens is the guy in this offense, and they're going to have to throw the football. It's hard not to want to start George Pickens and ride him to a win this week.
Yeah.
Ryan, you have Nick Chubb, top 15 against the Saints. Bo Nix, 20 plus against Atlanta. And the 2 tutty to your boy,
Which
Kyren
hit
Williams.
last week, by the way. That's our 3rd win, which by my math, if you win this thing 3 times, it pays off all the rest of your bets. Just throw $5 on it. If you win it 3 times, it pays off all the rest of your bets this season, which we have now done with 5 weeks to spare. And I'm picking Kyren Williams this week against your New England Patriots, Joe. Kyren hasn't scored in 2 weeks. And if you've been following Kyren Williams, that's fucking weird. So I think he gets back on track this week. New England can be beaten on the ground. Chicago was obviously a train wreck last week. But before that, Tony Pollard went for 128 yards on them. The Patriots has actually given up two touchdown games this season. One was to Jacksonville, and that was Tank Bigsby scoring both touchdowns. One was to Houston, where Joe Mixon got one and Damian Pierce got the other. Kyren Williams ain't giving the ball to the Rams ain't giving the ball to anybody but Kyren Williams. I'm not worried about Blake Corum vulturing a touchdown. I think this is another 2-touchdown game, and I think Kyren rights the ship after 2 weeks out of the end zone.
Myself, I got Drake May top 12 against the Rams, John Mechie top 15 against Dallas, and Joe Mixon will be the RB1 against the Dallas Cowboys this week.
Ready, fight.
So I needed a third upside. I said,
I always love Joe's reasonings. I fucking love it.
I need a third upside. And I said, you know what? I can't fucking pick them right anyway, ever. Like, they're not bad. Again, they're not bad starts. They're just not wins according to the show sheet.
Mixon was almost my 2-touchdown specials.
So again, that makes me feel even worse about this.
No, but it should make you feel
pick.
better that I didn't pick him now, because now he's to the moon.
But you were thinking about it.
I was.
Yeah. So, listen, what more can we say about Dallas? Jerry Jones built a stadium east to fucking west.
Oh my God, the funniest shit.
Dumbass.
CeeDee Lamb should have had a touchdown this week. You want to know what happened?
The sun.
Blinded by the light.
Fucking, what are we doing, Jerry? There's apparently curtains that AT&T Stadium has. And Jerry Jones has said, we're not putting up the curtains.
This is an advantage for us, right?
Until it's not.
Jerry, I understand your little pea-sized brain that you have up there that's slowly dwindling away and getting smoother and smoother by the millisecond. You find that one little ridge you got left on there, Jerry. Use that one little ridge to be like, hey, maybe let's not trade a 4th-round pick for Jonathan Mingo and just like not do anything with him. Maybe let's put curtains up in our $1 billion arena. I don't know. Maybe let's do that. Downsides real quick. We'll get to the rest of the questions right after. Josh, Jake Ferg, outside the top 20. Terry McLaurin outside the top 24. Ramondre Stevenson under 10 against the Rams. You just brought it up that Terry McLaurin owns the Philadelphia Eagles, but you're putting him as a downside.
Yeah, I know this one's going to bite me in the ass, but the Philly secondary has been locked down since the bye week. They're only allowing 82 receiving yards per game to opposing wide receivers. McLaurin over the last 3 weeks is 3rd on his own team in target share. I think we're going to see a lot of Zach Ertz going against the linebackers in this game, taking some of the safer dump offs versus trying to force feed the ball to the wide receivers. The young wide receivers on this team, Quinion Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, are absolutely swallowing up wide receivers. I also understand, outside of the Bengals, they have not had a tough competition when it comes to wide receivers, but they locked up Jamar Chase as well. I think if they can lock up Jamar Chase, they can lock up Terry McLaurin.
Cooper DeJean, baby.
Also, the 4th highest graded corner per PFF since week 6.
Breaking color barriers. Cooper DeJean.
Right.
21 years. It's crazy.
Shout out to Jason Segal.
Listen, rightfully so. But 21 years. So, go him. Ryan, Tyreek Hill not top 15 against the Vegas Raiders. Evan Ingram not topping 10 fantasy points against Detroit. And the no touchdown special goes to Chase Brown.
I'll talk about Chase Brown. The Chargers, and more importantly, I'll talk about the Los Angeles Chargers, who have been destroying running backs this season. The Chargers have allowed exactly 2 running back touchdowns on the entire season, and not one running back has found the end zone since week 4. That week 4 touchdown was Samaje Perine on 14 yards total. The week 1 touchdown was Alexander Madison through the air. Those are the touchdowns the Chargers have allowed. I understand Chase Brown is red hot. I don't think this is going to be the kind of game where it's going to work out well for him. Tony Pollard and Tajay Spears, both under 50 yards. Neither finds the end zone. Nick Chubb, 39 yards. Alvin Kamara, 67 yards, did most of his work through the air. James Conner went for 101 yards against them. Did not find the end zone. And before that, they shut down Denver. As I mentioned, P. Ryan found the end zone instead of Kareem Hunt. There's a lot of things that are working well for the Chargers stopping the run. And it's funny, they built a defense of all pass rushers who've all gotten old and slow and are just better at stopping the run now. So.
Go Joey Bosa.
Yeah.
We'll get to everyone's questions, I promise you, right after downsides here to finish it off myself. I have Jalen Waddle outside the top 30. I had fun stats, and Josh said, fuck you. Drake London outside the top 20 against Denver, and Brian Thomas Jr. outside the top 35 against Detroit. Drake London sees Patrick Surtain. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. That is the research, folks.
And that's why I've been trying to tell people I think Mooney is a hell of a play this week.
Yeah, because he doesn't see Patrick Surtain. He sees the other starting white cornerback in the NFL, Riley Moss.
Yeah. Not PFF's number 6 corner since week
number 4.
Whatever. Yeah.
But as we know, PFF has ranked guys wrong in the past.
I was going to say, honestly, I was trying to make sense of this PFF grade because DeJean has allowed 17 receptions since then, too. The most among the Eagles secondary. And I'm like, how is that top 4 graded in the NFL? That makes no sense to me.
There you go.
Josh.
So Josh gives the stat and immediately destroys the stat.
Josh, Deontay Hardy.
Number 1 wide receiver.
PFF's number 2 receiver.
So which one do you want to believe here, Joe? Because I know you love Cooper DeJean.
Again, I support PFF when it supports my statement. And in your case of Cooper DeJean, index of suspicion says it best, DEI.
That's right.
Like, listen, we're not saying that Nick Bosa only sacks black quarterbacks. We're not saying Cooper DeJean is great because he's the white quarterback. We're just saying the jokes write themselves. That's what we're saying. That's what we're saying. All right? But yes, Drake London sees Patrick Surtain, the last good lockdown cornerback in the NFL.
Yeah.
Right now. He's the last one. So yeah, I don't like Drake London this week. Darnell Mooney, however, yes, please.
Moondog.
And he's closer to the moon, 6,000 feet.
That's right.
6,
That's such a good point.
Yeah.
He's halfway there already.
Well, well.
Right, we need to learn a little bit about metrics.
I don't know about the math on that one.
Joe's reaction made the joke perfect. I got what I wanted there.
Okay. Dawson, he says he has CMC, Chase Brown, Kittle, McLaurin, and Dell. Would have Mike Evans or Marvin Harrison both on bye, and Kareem at flex and Lamar QB. Just traded for the Broncos' new RB1. Are we sure?
Oh, we're going to find out.
We're going to find out. It's a 10-man PPR. I mean, we said it earlier. We don't love Tank Dell right now, but you have Evans and Marvin Harrison Jr., so that's not really an issue with what you have. And your running backs are fine with CMC, Chase Brown, and Kareem Hunt. And you got the tight end one.
Yeah, I was
going to
say, specifically for this week, I don't love Chase Brown, but I'm still starting him over Audric Estime. So.
Yeah, because he has Chase Brown has big playability.
Yeah, like I said, he may not score a touchdown, but he could easily go over 150 total yards and not find the end zone, a la James Conner from a few weeks ago against the Chargers. So.
Yes. And
or he could also score touchdowns. It's not like he's blocked from the end zone because I said so. I don't know.
Yeah. Just bringing this up because we need to just heavy victory lap on Anthony Richardson.
Yes.
So
not often do we agree on a player sucking, and we are so fucking right about it.
I do think he bounces back this week, though. That is one of my upside plays.
Well, you're wrong. That's fine.
It's the
okay.
Jets.
I'm always wrong.
Ryan.
Not as bad as Joe, but I'm usually wrong.
Ryan, you're wrong. It's the Jets.
Wow. Now
and honestly, that was the biggest point of my
I know.
Josh, AR this week.
Well, what's funny is
Jets
I made the joke on Tuesday, do we see AR? And Josh said no, because they're going to let Flacco go out there in a revenge game and cook the Jets because of how bad they are. So
look,
all right, AR will pick up that torch and do it for Grandpa Joe.
You can convince me to play anybody besides Jalen Waddle against the Jets. I firmly believe that at this point. Quincy Jones, in the flesh.
That's right.
Isn't he dead? Isn't Quincy Jones dead?
He just
very dead and doesn't have an E in his name.
Okay. I know he didn't have an E in his name. Let me have fun with it. PPR, London or Debo?
It's
this
Debo.
is
We just talked about London.
I was going to say this is
bad week for London. I'll go Debo.
Debo. Hunt or Breece Hall?
I know you guys are very anti-Brees, but I'll go Brees against the Colts.
I was going to say it's Brees for me too.
Listen,
I'm not as down on Brees Hall as
Oh, that's right.
I'm
usually talk about this
starting
on Monday, Ryan.
I'm starting Brees Hall reluctantly and not with high hopes. That being said, Brees Hall. He looks so good.
Just have a
when the
little
ball's
less
in his
confidence
hand.
in that, Joe. Just
Yeah.
a little.
You want a little less? Do you hate yourself?
Only at 10:05 on a Wednesday.
Do you too want to throw your phone at your television screen watching the Red Zone channel? Start Brees Hall.
There you go.
There you go. All right.
Thank you for coming to our TED Talk.
Yeah. Out of the three, who should I start? CeeDee Lamb, Calvin Ridley, DeAndre Hopkins.
Definitely not CD.
Yeah,
Dion?
keep firing Ridley up.
Yeah. Until Ridley gives me a reason not to, you kind of have to. I mean, the Vikings secondary is...
It's not good.
All right. I will say the secondary itself is not good, but Brian Flores feasts on young, inexperienced quarterbacks.
Yeah, because
That's the only reason why I would have cause
his
for pause
scheme
with
goes
Ridley this week.
crazy. His scheme goes crazy. I would go D-Hop against Buffalo. I can understand wanting to load up Calvin Ridley. I would go D-Hop against Buffalo. Their secondary is not good.
Juju's supposed to be back this week. Not that I love Juju or anything,
Okay.
or think he's anything great, but I'm curious to see how.
But
those
we
two
do
are
love
gonna-
Juju as a wide receiver 3. Because that means the number 1, 2, nor 3rd best player.
Well,
on
and
the
that's
defense
what
is
I'm
looking
getting at.
it.
I want to see how those two are going to be used in tandem together because we haven't seen
fair.
that.
I think D-Hop is a higher touchdown upside of the two of them.
I would agree with that.
I'm still going DeAndre Hopkins. I'm still going DeAndre. I think they're going to have to go back and forth to stay in that game. So
Still think I would side Ridley.
it's fair. War Eagle. Daniels, Burrow. To me, this is smash Joe Burrow.
You can't bench Joe Burrow. I'm sorry. I love Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels has looked bad. Joe Burrow has not. So
Jaden Daniels has looked. It hasn't.
I don't mean like bad recently. He's had a bad game here or there. Joe Burrow is just on fire.
No,
right
Joe Burrow's been fun. But the issue with Daniels is like they had 3 touchdowns this week. All of them were on the ground. None of them were him. So that's an issue. Whereas Joe Burrow is going to throw for another 400 yards against the Chargers because the Bengals don't have a defense.
I was going to say, I think this could touch on what we just saw this Bengals-Chargers game. I'm looking forward to it.
This is a good Sunday night game. If you like offense, turn on Sunday Night Football this week. There's going to be a lot of offense.
And the unis should be nice too. I think we're going powder blues, hopefully.
Powder blue and the Bengals going all white because that'll be the uni match of the year if they're going all their powder blues and the all
Justin
whites.
Herbert, sign me up. Can't wait.
I think the Chargers go in their Navy ones next week. I think they said week 12 before the start of the year. They're all Navy sweet too. Is Jake Ferguson a drop?
This is actually on here for twice for 2 different people as well. So.
Oh, okay, great. Where's the second one? Oh, Millie Mills.
Millie's. Yep.
Fergie droppable.
For Millie's question, Ferguson is a drop. I need to know more about Suss's team.
Yeah, I'd rather Otton over Jake Ferguson.
Yeah,
sure.
so Fergie's a drop. Suss, the volume is there. Tight ends are trash right now. Ferguson still typically ranks ahead of the guys who I'm telling you to stream. So
says he has Gesicki. Higgins should be back this week, so Gesicki's a drop for me.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I'm not overly sold on. I'll hang on to Ferguson if it's full PPR. I'll hang on to Ferguson.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I'm when it comes to tight ends, it's all about streaming more than anything. Unless you have one of the top 4 or 5 guys, which right now Jake Ferguson is not. Hopefully, in a couple of weeks, we'll start to see like some semblance of quarterback play with Dallas, and young, inexperienced quarterbacks, they like to dump it off more so than anything because those are the safest bets. I can see a role for Ferguson. I just don't think we're there yet. It's kind of where I'm at.
Boom. George, might have asked this Tuesday, but Jordan Love or Bo Nix? I feel like we're all going to say Bo Nix here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm on Nix. I don't know. I mean, it's not a bad matchup for Love either. Yeah, I know. I'm riding Love. I love Bo Nix. Don't get me wrong, but Love is still my QB5 this week. I'll take Love.
Josh and I are going to say Bo Nix here. I think
I was going to say, I think I said Jordan Love on what was
I thought you did too. I thought we
did. I think I did, but it's just that rushing upside. That's what I want. I want that with Bo Nix. I mean, Green Bay quarterbacks tend to own the Bears, but hopefully with the new play caller coming in, that'll kind of rejuvenate what they want to do. And they have played good defense, and they are 4-1 at home. The Bears are. So I think this can, and we've seen a lot of inconsistencies with Jordan Love this season.
Josh, who's their one loss at home? Just asking.
Is it the Packers?
It
or
is
the Patriots?
The New England Patriots, baby.
Okay. Yeah,
Dynasty revived. Drake May. Real quick, just as we're talking Bears, did Caleb fuck up the throw, or should DJ Moore have cut that out route shorter at the first down line? Answer: both. They both sucked on that play.
It's not great.
So Chase Brown or Devontae Adams. This might be the one where I say Devontae Adams.
I'm going Adams.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I would go Adams this week.
Every other week,
It's
Chase Brown. But his matchup is really bad
It's
this week.
Colts.
So.
Oh my God, that Colts defense is so bad.
Again, on paper, Devontae Adams should ruin that defense on paper. Freezy. Trade Amonra, James Conner, and Jordan Addison for Saquon and Tyreek. So this is trade Amonra, Conner, and Addison for Saquon.
Your only upgrade you're getting is at running back, in my opinion.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it.
I don't think I would do it.
If he took out Addison, would you do Amonra and Conner for Saquon? Get rid of Tyreek.
Yeah.
I'd do that.
That I would do.
Yep, I would do that. Tyreek does you
Not that I
nothing,
think Addison is some world beater or anything, but
he's
I just
more
think
consistent.
there's more depth there because Tyreek right now is just not.
He's not it.
I'm looking at this. I love Amon-Ra St. I'll take the Saquon Tyreek side. I think Tyreek is going to bounce back, and Saquon is the best player in this trade. So I'll do it regardless. But I like Joe's.
I'm not
better.
sold that Tyreek bounces back. Truthfully,
I don't think he does. That's what I would take out Addison, take out Tyreek, and do Conner and Amonra for Saquon and see if they do that. That's where I would go.
I'd be more.
Stonks just traded Pickens and Downs from Mike Evans, 8-2. First, my wide receivers now will be Jamar. Great, you won. Congratulations. I literally don't need to know anything after Jamar Chase. It's great you have Nico Collins and Mike Evans. I don't care. I don't need to know anything after Jamar Chase. I mean, that's
Chase,
a fair.
man, he's gonna win people a lot of leagues. I have my work league where I co-commission. I ended up having to draft one of the teams for somebody who had to be out of town, and somehow Jamar Chase fell to the second round because of the whole contract holdout and all that shit. She is 10-0.
Yeah.
I've never been more proud of a draft that I've done outside of that team.
Do you get a cut of the winnings?
I'm sure she might throw me a little something for it, but still,
yeah, like at least a dinner, a nice lunch.
No, I was telling her, and actually the guy that I'm co-commissioning it with now, because of all the drama that we had in the league last year, I was like, you know what? This is the secret for a commissioner winning this league, because he's like only won 2 games this year. I was like, you just have to draft the team and hand it off to somebody else. That's how you win.
Yeah.
I mean, personally, I'm still waiting on 1/14 of Ryan's championship. I don't know what he's going to get me, but I'm still waiting.
I can shave off some of that belt, I guess.
Yeah. Honestly, I would appreciate that.
And they donated the winnings to Women in Fantasy Football. So.
There you go. And I'm just going to bring this up. That exactly right there. Helping others win is always.
See, Index, I agree, but I also like winning. So that's a problem when you're investing your own money into this. So, Millie, Njoku or Fergie rest the season?
It's Njoku.
Njoku.
Yeah.
Rest the season. That's no question. And George also for his other money league got all running backs on bye. Roll with Estime or Mostert. Mostert. He has a better matchup. Touchdown upside.
And there is, you know what? I'll give you that. The Raiders are touchdown upside. I'll go Mostert.
Yeah. And look, almost needs is one play. Estime needs 15.
I would begrudgingly say Mostert. They're just not using him right now. Devon Achane is owning that backfield.
Yeah. And look, he does say ugly start. Like that he fully prefaces like these are bad options. Mostert gives you the best option.
Yeah, until we actually start seeing volume from Estime, I'm not trusting him.
Mm-hmm. Guzman. Luis. Drop Devontae Smith for Sutton or Bateman. Why is Sutton on waivers?
Yeah, Sutton as quickly as possible. Do you have to drop Smith?
Probably because they listened to us on some Tuesday.
Yeah,
where
where Josh and I said they had to get rid of him.
My assumption has to be like an 8-team.
Yeah,
even
it could be
in an 8-team.
I'd rather have Sutton than Devonta. So
even in an 8-team, that feels.
I do think.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm choosing between those two, it's Sutton for sure.
Of those 3 receivers, I want Cortland Sutton the most.
Yeah,
by far, I want Cortland Sutton the most. So, yeah, Cortland Sutton pretty easy there. All right, friends, not too shabby. Not too shabby. Hour 15. I didn't miss anything, I don't think.
You did. The stream of the week, you dickhead.
No.
And the underdog prop. Like, what the fuck?
Listen, one of us filled it.
Last half of the show sheet to do.
Oh, guys.
Well, stream of the week's going to take 1 minute.
It's so late. Ryan, stream of the week.
Let's do it. Yes, it is so late. The latest stream of the week in Club Fantasy history. Week 11 streams of the week, all available in about 50% of ESPN leagues. At quarterback, I'm going to take Russell Wilson. Baltimore is all of a sudden a great matchup for quarterbacks. We just need this to not turn into one of those old school Pittsburgh-Baltimore battles. Wilson hit 3 touchdowns last week. Baltimore gave up 4. I'll take either one from my streaming quarterback. At tight end, I'm going to go Jonnu Smith against the Raiders. Smith has been steadily involved recently. He's averaging 6 targets per game over his last 5 games, and in that span, he's the tight end 12 in fantasy. The Raiders have actually allowed the most points to fantasy tight ends over the last month and got torched by Mike Gesicki before their bye. And on defense, I'm going to pick on this Bears offense. I'm going to go with the Green Bay Packers. They are the defense 7 on the season. Their bye hit at the perfect time. They've actually only had 1 bad fantasy defense game. That was before their bye against Detroit. Now they get a bounce back against a struggling Bears team who gave up 9 sacks last week. Those are your week 11 streams of the week. Full article available tomorrow.
Boom. Underdog props. Promo code WOFF. Sign up bonus. Free pick. First time deposit up to $1,000 cash. Josh, you have Jalen Hurts lower than 27.5 pass attempts. Ryan, you have Jaden Daniels lower than 226.5 passing yards. And Joe didn't look his up. But if you're available on Nakobe Dean's over total tackles for my IDP players.
I think he's out.
He's questionable.
Okay, I thought I saw a note today about him being, but maybe it was just questionable.
If he's officially announced out, go Zach Bond.
Take every tackle Zach Bond can possibly get.
Yep. I was going to say, if he's out, go
for our defense right now.
If he goes out, go Zach Bond, because Zach Bond will have 25 tackles.
20 tackles.
Yeah. Zach Bond will have 25 tackles tomorrow. So
I wanted to mix it up a little bit with mine because I always feel like we're going like touchdowns or yards or catches or anything. And I saw this pass attempts and I was like, oh, get all over this. 5 straight games, Jalen Hurts has been under this mark.
Really?
And I don't think people realize that. Yeah. And he's averaging over 10 rush attempts per game on the season. So he's handling the ball plenty. But this is a game where I think that they can just run the football. It's a Barkley game. Washington's allowed over 4 yards per carry on average and 1 rushing touchdown per game over the last, 4 weeks, 5 weeks? So I think we're going to see a lot of Saquon, and all Jalen Hurts has to do is just pick his spots.
The over-under for Zach Bond is 5.5 solo or 3.5 assist or 8.5 total. For Nakobe Dean, it's 4.5, 3.5, 8.5. I'd take the higher on all of those.
I would take the over on both of them if Nakobe Dean is healthy. The over on both of those, please.
Yeah, and you might want to get the over on Bond tonight. Like, I'm probably going to throw together some bets with Bond tonight because that number is going to shoot up if
Nakobe
starts
Dean
trending the wrong
absolutely.
way. So
yes, go get Zach Bond. Steve-O, what are we doing, JK? We talked about it earlier. J.K. Dobbins, it's his backfield. It's him.
Not even remotely worried. You're touchdown vultures, but honestly, Dobbins hasn't really made his living on touchdowns this season. So
I love how he calls him this goof Edwards. Like, goddamn, man. Put some respect on the Gus bus. Man.
We love the Gus bus.
Would you trade JK for DeAndre Swift half PPR?
I would.
100% yes. Dawson Knox, question mark. It's a guy.
We talked about Dawson Knox a little on, I think it was Tuesday during the waiver show, with Dalton Kincaid potentially going down. Dawson Knox is definitely somebody you want to keep your eye on, especially with all the injuries with Keon Coleman, Amari Cooper. Dawson Knox has always been a reliable target, especially in the end zone for Josh Allen. So he's going to have value, especially with how often they've been targeting Dalton Kincaid in this offense.
If Kincaid were out, Knox would be my stream of the week. Kansas City cannot stop the tight end. That is a wonderful matchup for Dawson Knox.
Steven, is there any hope for A.D. Mitchell with A-Ridge back?
No.
Nope.
He had
Not
more
at
hope.
all.
He had more hope with Joe Flacco in the lineup.
A lot more.
Now,
More hope.
Pittman, I think, practiced again today, though more rumors swirled of Pittman missing the rest of the season. But even that doesn't do anything for me for AD for the most part. I'm not bought in. No.
A.D. Mitchell looks to be a good receiver. Like, he's running routes well. He's breaking away from coverage. When ball's in his vicinity, he's catching the ball very well. He doesn't have a quarterback. When A-Ridge figures out how to throw the football, Adonai Mitchell and Michael Pittman and Josh Downs, that's a scary receiver room.
Richardson coming back opens things back up for Alec Pierce if he can get the separation. So,
I mean, like, if the Colts had a quarterback, I think we'd legitimately be talking about the Colts as one of the best wide receiver rooms in the NFL.
And that's fair. They have a very talented room. Richardson has no touch.
No,
None.
zero.
He cannot do anything but fire that fucking cannon. And it works great for moon balls if you have guys who can catch them. It also works great when the defensive back plays 5 yards behind the wide receiver and picks the ball off. So,
And that's the thing. You're betting on moon ball. You're betting on 5 or 6 moon balls to connect when Anthony Richardson is only connected sometimes on 4 passes total in a game.
Yep.
So you're asking a lot there, which sucks. Hopefully he gets better. That's going to help every Colts wide receiver at that point. If you haven't already, a lot of new names. Like, subscribe, please and thank you. We appreciate it. The 9 o'clock slot seems to be a fun one for everybody.
great for questions.
Great for questions. I'm tired, but I absolutely loved it. Sorry my computer crashed. Thought that was over, but apparently my computer hates me. So hour 20, we're at 9 p.m. now every single Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern. If you need any stuff, Christmas shopping, you want to do things for your commissioner, you want to buy a cool little belt that Josh is holding up right there, trophysmack.com/WOFF. You can go check out all the stuff they have there. And Adrian, with a last second $2 super chat. Thank you, Adrian. Is it time to give up on Love? Maybe scoop up Russ. I wouldn't say it's time to give up.
I think we're panicking a little bit about a bad weather game. They're coming out of a bye. I think Jordan Love's going to be just fine.
I mean,
I think Love is fine too, but I'm also perfectly fine.
I would say go pick up Russ.
Yeah. I mean,
I will say, yeah, when I have any quarterback I'm questioning, I'm not going to cut Love, but I think you need to have Russ on your team.
Yeah, I'm sure you have a wide receiver 6 or 7 or something on your team that you can probably cut to pick up Russ as a backup.
Backup tight end. Like there's some low hanging fruit on your team that you could get rid of to pick up Russell Wilson. We're all for Russell Wilson, but don't give up on Love. If you told me you were starting Russell Wilson over Jordan Love this week, I wouldn't hate you for it. I'd still probably say Jordan Love, but with how Baltimore has looked, yeah, you can fire away any quarterback against them, and I don't think any of us are going to question it. Steve-O says, do you have a schedule for streams? Oh,
that actually reminds me, we should put out like a graphic or something and just put it on like a community post and just pin it.
Yeah, we can
Not
do
a bad
that.
idea.
Yeah, Steve-O. So if you want to see the three of us or one of the three of us, dummies, we have a start set show 11 a.m. on Saturdays that we will do. Myself, Josh, Ryan sometimes pokes his head in, but it'll be me and Josh. And we will do that 11 a.m. Eastern. All of our times are in Eastern, but we'll do that on Saturdays. And we have a show every single day except Sunday.
Yep.
So
we have a live show every day except Sunday and Friday. We don't go live on Fridays.
My apologies. We do have content dropping on Friday.
I say it's a pre-recorded show that drops on Fridays. So.
Pre-recorded show, but we will be live every day of the week except Sunday and Friday. You'll see waiver shows from Josh and Ryan on Tuesday. You'll see them bitching about shit on Mondays. And you'll see a whole heaping smattering of everybody Club Fantasy throughout the rest of the week. But if you want to see us, Wednesdays, 9 p.m. Eastern, here on YouTube, Twitch, wherever you want to watch, we recommend YouTube. It's the best. And we'll also start at different days, Saturdays, 11 a.m. Eastern. And yeah, we should get a little schedule out there. That's not a bad idea. Thank you, Steve-O, for the recommendation.
Yeah, we've only been doing this for 7 years. Let's get a schedule.
I know, right?
Together.
We should, yeah. I mean, the schedule always changes because, like, some shows are like, oh,
someone should tell
the.
Well, not to mention,
we just flipped to 9, and
someone should tell the fucking president about that.
Well, not to mention, it used to be one show, and now all of a sudden,
Yeah, right. Now there's
everybody
like 12.
likes us. Yeah, and now we go 12 shows a week.
God, it's so hard being popular.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm kidding. We love each and every one of you. We literally can't. First off, we could do the show without you, but it's nowhere
Not
near
near
as
as fun.
fucking fun.
We've done it. It's not as fun.
It's not as fun. We would much rather answer your questions for 51 minutes instead of doing what we have written down for you. So we'd much rather cater to what.
But we want to stick with that
all
51-minute part.
Yeah, crazy. For Ryan, Josh, myself, you can follow Club Fantasy on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Club Fantasy FFL. The URL, clubfantasyffl.com. Always remember, defense wins championships, offense wins fantasy football. Good luck in your Week 11 matchups. If anything changes, Josh and I are on Saturday, 11 a.m. Eastern. We will see you next week.